Imagine watching a father you've loved for years say goodbye, not just to his on-screen family, but to everything. The screen fades, the music swells, and something inside you breaks. That final chapter of a beloved frontier drama wasn't just the end of a series. It was a man's quiet farewell to the world he built, a world that held him together when his own was falling apart. For almost 10 years, one actor carried an entire town on his shoulders. He wasn't just playing the strong, kind-hearted patriarch. He was the heartbeat of every story, every lesson, every tear shed on that dusty plain. Viewers saw warmth and wisdom in his eyes. But behind the camera, he was fighting wars no one could see, wars that would one day claim him far too soon. Looking back now, that last episode feels less like fiction and more like a letter he never meant to send. He didn't just step into the role. He lived it. When the show launched in the mid-70s, families across the country tuned in every week, drawn to the quiet strength of a man raising daughters on the edge of the wilderness. His character became a beacon, honest, unbreakable, the kind of father everyone wished they had. But what most never realized, so much of that came straight from the soul of the man himself. Before this series, he'd already proven himself in a long-running Western, riding horses and trading quips as the youngest brother in a legendary ranching family. That role taught him how to connect with audiences, how to make them laugh one moment and reach for a tissue the next. So when the network decided to bring classic pioneer tales to life, they handed him more than a script. They gave him the reins. He didn't just act. He wrote, he directed, he produced. Every line, every melody, every lingering glance carried his touch. The show wasn't about big stunts or special effects. It was about people flawed, hopeful, trying their best in a hard world. And he made sure every story felt real, even if it meant rewriting a scene at midnight because the emotion wasn't quite right. He appeared in nearly every episode, shaped over 200 as producer, and personally crafted some of the most gut-wrenching moments, like the one where a mother faces unimaginable loss, or another where grief turns into quiet strength. On set, he was known for getting things done fast, under budget, ahead of schedule, but never at the cost of heart. If a tear didn't feel earned, it stayed on the cutting room floor. By the end of the decade, the series had become a cornerstone of family television, nominated for awards, watched by generations, a rare show that could make you believe in goodness again. But success came with shadows. Not everything behind the scenes was as peaceful as the prairie sunsets. The stories didn't shy away from pain. Under his guidance, the show dove into topics most family programs ignored: death, prejudice, addiction, loss. One episode shattered viewers with the death of a child. Another forced families to confront hatred in their own backyard. He believed if people were going to gather around the TV together, they deserved truth, not just comfort. There was always hope in the end, but never without cost. That courage sparked debate. Some said it was too soft, too full of lessons. Others argued it pushed too far for kids. Historians grumbled about stretched facts. Teachers rolled their eyes at the rosy pioneer life. But he didn't care about perfection. He cared about feeling. "We're not making a documentary," he'd say. "We're making something that sticks with you long after the lights go out." His drive for excellence created friction. He demanded the best from himself most of all. His co-star, the woman who played his wife, later spoke of tough negotiations, hurt feelings, moments where creative visions clashed. "I just wanted fairness," she said. They respected each other deeply, but working under his intensity wasn't easy. He was the sun the show revolved around. And suns can burn. Still, no one could deny his gift. He poured himself into every frame until the line between actor and character disappeared. By the final seasons, they were one and the same. And while the world saw a hero, he was carrying wounds that went back to childhood wounds that never fully healed. If this story touches your heart, please share it. Long before the cameras rolled, his life was chaos. Home wasn't safe. His mother battled demons that spilled into terrifying moments he never forgot. At school, cruelty followed. He wet the bed into his teens, a secret that brought shame and relentless bullying. Those scars became fuel. He turned pain into purpose, later channeling it into a film about a boy who runs to outpace his past. Running became his metaphor. He never stopped. Hollywood didn't welcome him with open arms. Rejection after rejection. Too short. Too soft. Not the type. But he had something else fire. When he finally broke through in that Western, fame came fast. Yet the insecurity lingered. It pushed him to work harder, control more, build worlds where he called the shots. Where no one could hurt him again. 3 marriages. 9 children. A whirlwind of love and restlessness. To his kids, he was magic funny, larger than life, the dad who made dreams feel possible. But closeness came in waves. He gave everything to his work. And in the spring of 1991, the bill came due. Headaches on vacation turned into a nightmare. Pancreatic cancer. Aggressive, advanced. His daughter later said he avoided. Doctors like the plague-convinced willpower could fix anything. It had carried him through so much. This time, it failed him. Rumors flew radiation from old filming sites. Genetics. He blamed the smoking, the drinking, the life lived hard. In May, he sat down for one last interview on a famous late-night show. Thinner, but still smiling. Still joking. Still him. He promised to fight. And for a moment, you believed he would. 3 months later, at 54, he was gone. Surrounded by family in his Malibu home. The man who taught millions how to be strong finally rested. The news hit like losing your own father. Tributes poured in. The cast his TV family grieved like orphans. The girl who'd played his daughter, now grown, spoke at his funeral. He was our leader, she said. The one who set the tone. Ate vacation together. Shared schools. Slept over at each other's houses. He wasn't just a boss. He was family. Another actor remembered his genius for truth. He wrote about real life, he said. That's why it still grabs people. Even the girl who played the town bully saw past the tough exterior. He carried so much, she reflected, and turned it into something beautiful. Years later, they reunited to talk about him, laughing, crying, remembering how he could shift a room's energy with a look. How his laugh filled the set. How his focus pulled everyone higher. He was gone, but never really. His lessons lived in them. In us. And then there's that final episode. The one that still hurts to watch. The town they'd loved for a decade faced destruction. Not by nature, but by greed. A developer claimed it all. Rather than surrender, the people made a choice no one saw coming. They blew it up themselves. Homes, church, school, everything. One by one, they lit the fuses. Watched their world burn. It wasn't violence. It was love. A refusal to let their home be twisted into something ugly. The explosions weren't just special effects. They were goodbye. To the sets. The memories. The life they'd built together. He wrote it. Directed it. Starred in it. And when the church went up in flames, even he cried. The crew felt it too like attending a wake. The network had pulled the plug unexpectedly. He wanted more stories, more movies. But if it had to end, it would end his way. With dignity. With fire. Viewers were stunned. Heartbroken. Some called it too much. Others saw genius. Life doesn't fade quietly. Sometimes it demands you walk away from the ashes. He knew that better than anyone. When the cameras stopped, the cast stood in the rubble, silent. He looked around at the town he'd created and destroyed. Then he walked away. But the Prairie followed him. He didn't stop. Launched a new show about an angel walking among us, helping the lost find their way. Same heart, same hope, same man. He kept going, kept writing, kept believing stories could heal. Until the very end. His legacy isn't just old reruns. It's the reminder that pain can become purpose. That family isn't perfect, but it's worth fighting for. That even in loss, there's light. If his story moved you, if it made you think of your own father, your own fights, your own goodbyes, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Hit like, subscribe, let's keep his light burning. Because some farewells deserve to echo forever.